What up, Dodgers Nation? D-Mac here, and coming up, I have an interview with Alana Rizzo where we discuss if Dave Roberts should win the Manager of the Year award, his time as Dodgers manager, and this was recorded before the postseason, but yesterday it was announced that Dave Roberts has been named a finalist for the National League Manager of the Year award, along with the Atlanta Braves skipper Brian Snitker and Buck Showalter of the New York Mets. Now, if you took into account the Dodgers postseason results, I would not include Dave Roberts in that mix. But keep in mind, the Manager of the Year award is solely a regular season award. It has nothing to do with the results of the postseason. So yeah, if you include the postseason, I would not make the case for Dave Roberts at all whatsoever, because the Dodgers, they underachieved. They won just one postseason game. They lost to the Padres. But when you look at the Dodgers' 111-win regular season, I absolutely believe that he deserves some Manager of the Year consideration. But let me know down below in the comment section, do you think Dave Roberts should win NL Manager of the Year? And where do you want to see him improve most moving forward? Let me know down below. But here's my interview with MLB Network's Alana Rizzo, where we talked about Dodgers skipper Dave Roberts. What's going on, Dodgers Nation? And a special day here at the studio on Dodgers Dugout. We are joined by Alana Rizzo, the co-host of MLB Network's High Heat. She covered your Los Angeles Dodgers, of course, from 2013 to 2020. She has the same amount of Emmys as the Dodgers have World Series titles. Count them, 7. Thanks for rocking with us today, Alana.
Oh, of course. My pleasure to be with you guys. What's up, Dodger Nation?
I want to stay on the topic of Dave Roberts because no one knows Doc more than you. And you covered his entire run with the Dodgers and when he started there till you ended up going to the MLB Network. And I think that, in my opinion, this is his best managerial job. And because I think a lot of teams, a lot of fans out there from other teams, they think it was sunshine and rainbows for the Dodgers all season long. They look at that record and say, oh, they might not have had to deal with injuries or things like that. But when you look at this team, they lose their opening day starter in Walker Buehler, a guy who really was the ace of the staff at this point. You lose your best high leverage reliever in Blake Treinen. The bottom of their order, the middle of their order, they suffered towards the beginning of the season. Muncy, Bellinger, Chris Taylor, they have had down years for the most part. Do you think that this is his best managerial job yet as the Dodgers skipper?
And don't forget, Craig Kimbrell hasn't performed the way that Craig Kimbrell was thought to perform too. So, I'm not there with the day-to-day stuff that Dave's doing right now, obviously, because I'm not in the dugout on a daily basis with these guys anymore. But one thing I know about Dave, and I've known him for a very long time, way before he became Dodgers manager. I mean, I've been in the National League for a very long time, so I've known him for quite some time. And one thing I know about him is he's a very good manager of people before he's even a manager of players. He's a good manager of people, and he's a guy that understands the psyche, and then not everyone is the same. Not everyone can be placed into the same bucket of how to manage and how to get the most out of a guy. And one thing I will say about the Dodgers organization is they're very good about letting guys be who they are in terms of people as well as a player, and to get the most out of them in terms of performance. So they have been decimated by injuries, but so have the other 29 clubs. And, you can't, it's how you get out of those injuries and get out of those slumps that you're in, making sure it's more quickly than the other clubs are able to do so. And, losing Walker Buehler is a killer. And Clayton not being at his best the entire season is tough too, but you also have the opportunity to see the emergence. Where would this team be without Tyler Anderson? Think about that. We don't talk about Tyler Anderson enough. Julio Urias with the 2.17 earned run average is going to be the first Mexican-born player to win the National League ERA title. This is a guy that's coming out of the bullpen and getting the final out of the World Series in 2022. He's probably your game one starter this year. So you get an opportunity to see the emergence of some of these other players, and forcing guys to grow up and develop more. And, I think every year is – I tried to manage a game one time on a video game, and I was so overmatched. You don't think about all of the decisions that have to be made in one inning, let alone a game. So for him to be able to manage this team to 110 wins, get another postseason run, lock up the number one seed with some of the key pieces, the biggest pieces of the puzzle. Dave Roberts is one of my favorite people and one of the best managers in the game.
Yeah, and to your point about Craig Kimbrell, that was one thing that I saw this season that really showed his growth, because right when he started to struggle, you had the Kimbrell era where he started to figure things out. I've called him Craig Crumble at times this season, but once he really started to struggle, Doc moved off him, and he's used the word meritocracy. In the past, you knew he was beholden to the Kenley Jansens of the world, to some of these other closers, but I think Dave is continuously doing the right thing for the team. I think a lot of people don't see the intangibles that he brings, and the way he can stay even keel and develop a clubhouse culture. I give him a lot of credit too for Muncie's turnaround this season. I think Dave Roberts was in his bag. It was a masterclass managerial job from Doc this season. So would you vote for him as your manager of the year?
It's tough to give Dave manager of the year because of all of the parts that he's given, all of the resources that I think, when he won it in his first year, having not had managerial experience, really, that one was a no-brainer to me. You got to think about all of the resources that you have. That's why it's tough when teams have the amount of money that they do. You look at it this way. I look at Rob Thompson perhaps as a guy that should be in the conversation, just because of where this team was at 23 and 29, the Phillies, I think, at the beginning of July. They ended up getting in, wild card, but so be it. You look at those types of guys and the way that, the team responded after they let go. And I was not a fan of the Dombrowski move of letting Joe Girardi go. I said that publicly, and I was clearly wrong, because they responded to Thompson a lot better. You look at Brian Snitker again. The Atlanta Braves were in first place for 8 days. 8 days. The Mets held first place in the National League East the remainder of the time, and the Mets are now a wild card team and could easily get knocked out in the first round. You look at things like that. Do I think Dave Roberts is, manager of the year? He could be every year, but I don't know if he'll get it just based on the fact that there's an expectation of the Dodgers to get there.
Yeah, and I tend to agree with you. I try not to have my Dodgers bias when I'm talking about league-wide awards. But, I mean, if you talk about a team winning 110 games, the most wins in 113 years since the 1909 Pirates, they're going to get shut out of the Manager of the Year, the MVP, probably the Cy Young. I mean, they deserve some love. I mean, yes, they have a Bentley, but he still knows how to drive it. And I think Dave Roberts is a guy that he's been outstanding this entire season. I just think that he definitely deserves a little more credit. And I do think that there are some times where he gets too much blame or too much credit. I think it's right in the middle. But yeah, if you've been into that clubhouse, the buy-in from these stars, like you said, the collection of talent, yes, it's a reason why maybe he shouldn't win it. But to me, it's a reason why he should win it, because he gets former MVPs and perennial all-stars to buy in to this culture, what's all about winning. I think this next man up mentality this season was big. But yeah, Doc, you got my manager of the year vote. But thank you so much, as always, for joining us. You can follow Alana Rizzo at Alana Rizzo over on Twitter. She's a great follow. She follows me. It's like the peak of my life that she does that. Appreciate that as always. And catch your show with Chris Mad Dog Russo every morning, Monday through Friday on MLB Network. High Heat. You have to watch it. A great show covering all things Major League Baseball. So definitely catch that. But thanks, Alana, and appreciate you rocking with us.
All right, you guys take care. Go Dodgers.